Hello, everyone. This is the Abundance Oracle. I would take you out on the beach, but you can see if you look out the window, it's sort of dark and murky and not too great. So here we are. You're still at the beach with me. It's just we're inside the car again. I know springtime's coming, so we'll be outside with our toes dipping in the sand very soon. I I've been doing a little bit of silly. I don't know why I'm so silly this week, but anyway, I wanted to put something a little bit more down to earth and a story about me and what I've done in the past a little bit. And it has to do with finances as well and real estate. So, one, I was listening to Jeremiah Babe. I think that's the name of his channel. And he's made an offer on a house. And he waited 8 days. And the people didn't counter offer, and he feels he gave them a very reasonable offer on the house. Now, as most of you probably know, residential real estate in some locations has gone down significantly, and he happens to be in a state, the state of California, that is losing more residents than gaining residents. So the price of their housing is actually moving down in certain areas. So he's in one of those areas where the price is moving down and gave his people a reasonable offer, which would have been a gain from when they originally owned it. I don't know, 10 years ago maybe, or I don't know the exact how many years. But okay, you get the point. He was a little upset today because it took the people 8 days, probably trying to wait for some other offer to come in. And they flatly just turned down. They had got no other offer, and they flatly turned down his offer. Evidently, his offer was the only offer that came in. And I'd like to tell you a little story. When I bought, I was very nervous. It was my first waterfront property. It was a big house out on the neck. And down the street from some very important people, so it was a nice area. Well, the woman passed away that owned the house, and the outside had gone, it was like a jungle. There was no landscaping, nice and neat. Nope, a jungle. So automatically you're like, oh, this is going to take a lot of work before you even walk in the front door, right? So you go in the front door. It was an older house. Nothing has really been updated, but everything worked. The only negative really was everything. Every speck and inch except for the floors was almond green. There must have been a big sale on that almond green paint when she last had the house painted. The house was in a good order and everything, so I thought, okay, I'm going to make an offer on this house. I made the offer. The offer was rejected, and my friend said, why don't you raise your price up a little? I said, no, this is what it's worth. I said, nobody in their right mind, no woman, is going to walk in and buy this house. So it is going to sell at a contractor's price, which is way below the market price, because they want to be able to either gut it or redo the whole thing, upgrade, etc. Okay, so I said, nope, I'm going to wait. 3 months later, the property's still up for sale. I submitted the exact same bid, exact same one, to the people once again. And they flatly rejected it. Okay, all right. I knew no man would buy this house unless he was a contractor. And so if you're married to a woman, the woman's going to go and say, oh, let's not even look at this place, and walk out the door. So I'm pretty safe at knowing, well, okay, I've got a decent price, and it's the people that haven't adjusted their frame of reference or their thinking yet. So I waited another 3 months. Yep. And you know what I did after 3 more months. Now we're 6 months. Submitted the exact same offer. And what do you think they did? Rejected it for the second time. So what did I do? Waited another 3 months. And what did I do? Third offer. Third time rejected. Now we're going on to a year. 3 months later, 1 year, on the anniversary date of my first offer, as everything in the landscaping now has gotten a year older and a year more out of control. And they've had to pay for all the utilities to keep the house warm enough so pipes didn't freeze and everything else. And now that it's been on for a year, people aren't even coming to look at the house at all. So they lowered their price. I'm going to say hardly at all. So now we're starting to roll into year 2. 3 more months, a year and 3 months. So now what am I up to? 4th bid. No, wait, maybe I'm on the 5th bid. Anyway, you get it. We're now a year and a quarter down. And they did not even counter offer or say anything. And so a year and a half without anyone seeing it for 6 months, even after their price was reduced a little bit. I went in with the same offer, and I'm biting my nails the whole time thinking, oh, this is such a perfect house. It overlooked a little island. It was fabulous. It had its own little beach. I'll tell you what I did. I had to do something about the beach. And nobody even made an offer besides me this whole time. So now we're a year and a half, and finally, the family figured out, well, we better take this because it looks worse and worse, and we're going to just have to lower our price more and more, and no one else is crazy enough to buy this house. So I got the house. I was very excited. Of course, at the time, I think I was in my 30s sometime, 32, 34 maybe, and I started cleaning up the landscaping myself because it was an expensive house. It was my first waterfront property. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to have to live here because I can't afford to get this house and the other house, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought to myself, this is sort of like on a very steep incline. What about if I took and put up a concrete wall halfway up the hill so that I could make everything sort of flat and usable space instead of just big, huge hill, sort of. So I did that, and it was my first experience hiring a big concrete firm to be able to get to the place that they needed to get to put this big wall up. They had to get a barge and put their bulldozer on a barge. Okay, the bulldozer comes in, it starts their work, and since we're on the ocean, guess what comes along? A big hurricane. And guess where that bulldozer, which thankfully the people had their own insurance on, guess where that bulldozer went? Down into the water. So they had to bring a new barge over, pull up the old bulldozer, which of course didn't start, right? So they had to take that away and bring in a new one and to finish the wall, which added great, great value to this property. And getting rid of the white, almond color paint over the whole place really did a lot for it as well. So anyway, I had my first daughter was born, and that was her house. That was 1999, so it was a long time ago for me. And it was a great little house, and I drove by the other day. Not the other day, a couple months ago, and it's still there. Nothing on the outside has changed. I'm guessing nothing much on the inside changed. I did a fabulous job, and I should have kept that house and rented it out and moved to the next house instead of selling it. And that's one of the other real estate tips I'm going to have for you. Try and accumulate and rent to other people when it's time for you to move on. Because at one point in time, I accumulated a significant quantity and I could sell all those little houses all at once and then roll it into triple net commercial real estate, which meant no work whatsoever, no leases, no repairs, no dealing with tenants, etc. It was a fabulous way to do things when you're young. So, anyway, that's my little bit of a story today on finance. The very first place I bought for commercial property, I paid, I believe, 11% on the loan. And for a commercial property, you every 5 years they revise it, make sure you're still financially stable, and then recommit to another 5 years. And commercial loans are usually 20 years long. Well, I got lucky because over time, the interest rates went slowly down. So not only did I pay off some of the principal, but with the interest rates going down, I made more and more and more money. So I do not mind hearing that the interest rates may be going up. I might be able to accumulate maybe one or two more commercial properties, and we shall see how things go. It's very interesting. All right, this is the Abundance Oracle. I love you all. And what is sometimes devastating for other people, you might be able to help them out, even if you get a good price. These people that that sold me the oceanfront property made a boatload. It just was in a bad time that their mom died, and the house had such a good feel in it. Everybody said she had invited a lot of Buddhists over. They did, I don't know, retreats or something or other, and the energy in the house was so fabulous. And the house I'm in now, it's the same thing, my personal house. Anyway, love you tons. Please like, subscribe, and share. Sorry for gabbing your head off. Bye-bye. Love ya.